Okay, we are recording. Hi, Lucely. Just want to
Hello.
make sure I have permission to record our lesson today.
Yes, you do.
Okay, excellent. So let me pin you so it's good. So now you are the giant screen, as you should be. Um, okay, so I know you've been singing a little bit today, but let's just make sure everything's nicely grounded because the Mozart aria is a big one. It's a big sing. So just want to make sure you're feeling nice and warmed up and breath really anchored. So let's do some lip trill. So arpeggios are good. And as we're ascending, just a little space, a little more space in the molars. So higher pitches, higher frequency, just a little more space in the vocal tract. So, okay. Yeah. And nice and anchored. We'll do just a couple more. So breath nicely anchored. Awesome. Good, good, good. Nice. Okay. And let's do another one for anchoring the breath. We'll do a little staccati. So some triads. We're going to do starting down at A major. We'll do a V, 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 V. Each time we're doing the V, it's a nice contraction of the tummy muscles to get that airflow going, a little agitation of the diaphragm. Diaphragm is an involuntary, moves involuntarily, but we can sort of agitate it a little bit just to get all that breath awake, ready for singing. Okay, so staccati V V V V V.
Z, 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 Z. 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 Z, 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 Z,
Good.
Z.
And let's switch to ve. So again, unhinging a little bit the jaw. Ve.
Ve, 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 ve. Ve, 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 ve. Ve, 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 ve. Ve, 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 ve.
Awesome. And let's go to va.
Va, 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 va.
Yep.
Va, 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 va. Va, 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 va. Va, 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 va. Va, 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 va.
Great. And just one more.
Va, 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 va.
Good, good, good. And how'd that feel?
Good.
Good, nice and comfortable. Good, excellent. Okay, now we'll transition to some sliding. We're going to stretch out those vocal folds. We're going to slide up and slide down on a 1-5-1. We'll start it with the Z, so semi-occluded vocal tract exercise, get the airflow really going. So we'll start down here with a Z. Okay. Yep. Yep. And let's go to Z.
Z.
Great, nice.
Z.
Awesome. So that's got really nice placement. It's ringing nice and forward. That's excellent. Good for you.
Z.
Excellent.
Z.
Great. And let's go to Z. So closed E, Z.
Z.
Great. Awesome. Let's do a couple of zoos. So we're going to do back vowel, but we still want to find that nice forward space that nice ring, effortless. That was, yeah. And I know we don't usually cover going up through passaggio, so I will not have to worry about you. So let's do some zoos.
Zoo.
Good. So it does sound a little bit woofy. This could just be a Zoom thing. So just to make sure, let's go Z to oo. So Z and then switch to oo because we know your E was really ringing really well, nice and forward. Okay, so Z oo.
Z.
Good. So that sounded freer to me actually.
Z.
Nice.
Z.
Good. And let's switch to za. So we want to preset that breath. Preset the space we want to sing into. So gonna nice breath with a nice lift, big palate lift, and the z z z is gonna engage the air coming from the core. So za. Okay.
Z.
Good.
Z.
Excellent. And just one more.
Z.
Good, 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 good. Awesome. Okay, we're going to jump back down. So we're going to do sliding octaves. It's been a while since we've done these, but hopefully you remember it. So it'll be so octave, octave to the second, back down. So it'll be so this is all about the register shifts. So going from low voice up to middle, and then as we're ascending, it's middle voice, most upper part of the register, and being able to transition back down. So it's just aligning our registration. So we'll start here, I think. Yeah, we'll start with a z just to get the breath nicely anchored first. Okay. Yep. Okay. Okay, good. Zoom does not like the zzz. So sound is cutting out a little bit, but I can see, I can see exactly what you're doing. Great. Okay. And now we'll open to a vowel. So we'll start with our E vowel. So we'll stay on Z the whole exercise. And nice and slow.
Z.
Okay, that was great. So you negotiated going up for upper register, you were unhinging the jaw, more space in the vocal tract, and then you realized as you were coming back down to your lower register that you needed to close down that shape and really tuck the vowel nice and forward. So yay, you remember. Woohoo! Good stuff. Okay, great. So let's do another Z.
Z.
Awesome. Good. Okay, now we're going to go Z ah, and once we transition to ah at the top, we'll stay on ah. Sorry.
Z.
Good. So the ah, as we're descending back down, we need to tuck that in a little more forward, so it kind of see ah, you kind of brought a little bit of covering as you were descending. So you want to see ah, a little more forward ah. So again, it's that smaller, lower frequency, lower notes, little smaller space in the vocal tract. Okay, so Zia.
Z.
Okay, I'll do one more time. It still was a little, again, it could be a zoom sound. So I would try to get the ah. So let's say ah, ah, ah. Yeah,
Ah,
very Italian ah. Yeah.
ah.
And
Okay.
when you're saying that, we want to connecting our singing voice to the speaking voice. I'm seeing a lot of front teeth.
Mhm.
So when you were singing the last time, your front teeth were really covered. So I think that was contributing to the kind of ooh, woofy sort of
Okay.
ah coming down. So zia, so a little more of the front teeth, okay, and then maintain that as you're descending back down. Okie doke.
Z.
Yep. Okay. Good.
Z.
Good. I know it's definitely Zoom because I can see your
Yeah,
shaping that I know you're doing it.
I can
Zoom
hear it.
isn't.
Usually the A's are always very dark for me.
Yeah.
So I've been working on actually keeping them a little more forward.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do another one. So again, zia. So we're going to use some of that e space to find the ahs, not so far away from that.
Z.
Yeah, good. Another thing that will help as you're descending is ensuring that your tongue is not going back. It looks like it might be going back a teeny bit, so that's gonna, oh, it's gonna, because you know how we know from our fun vocal ped diagrams how large the tongue is, the root of the tongue. So if it's going back a little bit, it's literally like a plunger. So we want to ensure that the front of it is staying nice and relaxed forward. So we're not, oh, like the tongue's not going back because it's going to blocking the sound, a little bit of compression or compressing of the larynx. So let's make sure on the descent that we're ah. So we're enunciating the ah, nice and bright Italian ah, and as well the tip of the tongue is staying nice and forward. Okay. So let's do a Z ah.
Z.
Yeah, so I can see it. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So as long as I know again Zoom sound is not agreeing with us today, but I can see you relaxing the tongue forward. So tell me how's that feeling?
Feels better on my throat. It puts less strain on the
Yep.
back of my mouth, so it's
Good.
like
Good.
more forward and easier.
Yep. Excellent. Good. Good. That's what we want to hear. Good. Okay, let's do one more and then I'm super excited to hear the Mozart. So another Zia.
Z.
Yep. Okay, good. Actually, you know what? That was so awesome. We're going to do just one more. Good. So that's staying really nice and consistent. I can see the tongue wasn't going back, staying, yeah. And then you're keeping the vowel nice and bright. I could see the teeth as you were descending. So that was excellent. So nice, consistent lining up of registers. So we just were super high. So let's balance that out with a little bit of lower. Um, so we'll do a little humming. So, okay. Yep, good. And let's switch that to a me. Me. Okay. Yep. Yep. Good. Good, good, good. And just one more. Sopranos, we want to have nice solid low A's. Good, good, good. Actually, it was a G sharp. So G sharp before the A. So even better. Okay, awesome. So let's transition to our aria. So you've been doing recitative and aria, right? For
Yes.
the Dove Sono. Okay, so let's just a little refresher. So what can you tell me about the aria? A little context, and I can help you with anything.
Contessa's just kind of stressed out, for lack of a better word. She
Hmm.
thinks her husband, cheating on her, and she's upset because she's not getting attention.
Hmm.
And so she's basically plotting to possibly change her like place, like change with Susanna,
Hmm.
and kind of like sneak up and spy on her husband.
Right.
So
So
this
it's a
is just
little, it's
her
a little
turtle now.
Yeah, so it's a little deception. So interesting history, and you probably know this, that so you know the Barber of Seville. So she
Mhm.
is Rosina. So she's much younger, obviously in Barber of Seville. Very sassy, feisty. So of course you know the Count was very attracted to that. So they've been married for quite a while. So this is a different time in their life, you have to
Yeah.
be married, and so he has definitely lost some interest in her. So he is quite flirtatious with some of the younger ladies that are in the castle,
Yeah.
and in particular Susanna. You know, he's got his eye on her, though she's already engaged to somebody else. So yes, so they've come up with this plot that Susanna is going to try to set up a date with the Count. You know, this is, and you know, the wonderful Sularia duet. You know, is when they're writing the letter and planning the big seduction. And then yes, so ultimately her plan is to switch places with Susanna. So when she's showing up in the garden, she's going to have Susanna's outfit on, and then she's going to confront the Count and like, hey, Mister. So this aria. So can you tell me what your thoughts are on the context of this particular aria? So this is when she's waiting. So Susanna's gone to deliver the letter, and you know the
Mhm.
plot's in motion. So this is where she's alone.
Yeah.
She's waiting for you know to hear the outcome of, oh, what's going to happen? Are you going to meet? So do you have thoughts on how she's feeling at
She's
this
very
point?
conflicted because she's like upset because she misses the way she used to be. So she's reminiscing
Right.
on their relationship when it used to be like beautiful, like these beautiful moments, and like where did they go? And so she's just kind of sad and
Hmm.
then just angry. So she's just kind of trying to
Yeah.
figure out what's going on,
So
basically.
yeah, and there's a lot of layers because it's you know she's having nostalgic happy
Mhm.
flashbacks of, the younger days. And then all of a sudden she's having that realization of the present moment where she's actually kind of embarrassed. Like she's, it's not a nice feeling to think, oh gosh, my husband's no longer attracted to me. So she's embarrassed and feeling insecure and mad at the same time. All of that, blended in with some nostalgia of, the happy days. And this aria is interesting because this aria is more like a monologue than anything. A lot of the Contessa's arias are that. So Porgy and More, same thing.
Yes.
So lots of other arias in Mozart's operas and others are they might start out, the recitative might be a little more monologue like, but then generally it's more relaying a story to the audience or to somebody else in the scene. So the Contessa, poor Contessa, spends a lot of time alone, so the whole aria doesn't really transition out of a monologue, which makes it challenging for the as an actress to be able to suspend or not suspend to sustain the interest of the audience, because it's really very personal. So it's telling, finding the balance of keeping it very personal but also making sure that those emotions are not so quiet and subdued that they're not making it out to the audience, because you want us as your audience member to to have that aesthetic experience of feeling those emotions along with you. So it's a great opportunity to play around with using text and using contrast and dynamics. And obviously with an orchestra, you get to embrace the fermati and have those little moments of time suspended. And I know we're using a
The
recorded
track.
track today, so it's the the world of singing in COVID is very different, because we're used to pianists following us and orchestra, and now we're following piano track. So it's a little harder to suspend, to suspend the fermati as long as we want, or sustain them and hold those moments. But yeah, but we're doing what we can. We're still singing,
Make
and
it work.
we're keeping the music going, and we're making it work. So let's try it. So we'll go through, and then maybe go back and talk about a few little parts. So I'm gonna get my sheet music. So you've got your music there as a reference, just in case. My sheet
The
music.
middle
I'm gonna.
section is a little shaky, but like
Oh yeah.
text. So
Oh,
we
that's
can make
fine.
it
Yeah,
work.
just have it as a reference. Yeah, totally. We're not performing. It's a lesson, so we're good. And I've got mine. So split screen. Perfect. Okay, so I am ready when you are.
Okay. I have the track on my phone, so
Yeah, and maybe let's do a little sound check first, just to see how Zoom's going to behave with the second device.
you can turn it up.
Okay. So that's good. So maybe let's just sing a measure just to see, because Zoom prioritizes either, it'll prioritize the voice or the
Or
piano.
the piano.
Yeah, so let's just see how the balance is. So maybe just sing the first couple of measures of the recitative.
E Susanna non viene,
Okay.
sono ansiosa.
Okay, that's good. Yep. So let's do a restart. And again, while we're launching into it, so the recitative is very speech like. So right away, before we, I was going to let you sing the whole thing and then give you feedback. So right, since we're restarting, let's get that a little more speech like. So that's going to be, so save the legato for later in the recitative and the dove sono. So
Okay.
this is she's really talking to herself. E Susanna non viene, right? Versus E Susanna non viene. So if you were alone in your room, stressed out, waiting for someone to show up, you're not going to speak so legato. You're going to be a little more agitated, right?
Okay.
It's kind of like, oh gosh, where is she? Okay, so let's try that.
E Susanna non viene, sono ansiosa di saper come il conte accolse la proposta. Ahimè, quanto ardito il progetto mi par, e ad uno sposo se vivace e geloso vestiti con quelli di Susanna, i suoi panni al for della notte accedo, a quale vil stato fatale io sorriduto da un consorte crudele, che dopo avermi commesso inaudito di infedeltà, di gelosia, disdegni, tremato, indi offeso, e al fin tradito, fammi cercar, donna mia servaita. Dove sono di dolcezza e di piacer, dove andrò e gioramente di quella promenzognier, di quella
All right. Very nice. Very nice.
Oh,
Whoop. YouTube. Yes. Okay, so some really great stuff happening. So we snuck in a few extra breaths that we're going to
I
talk about.
did. I know that middle section is hard.
Yes.
Oh
Um,
no.
okay, and let's see. So if we're going back to the beginning, so it would be great to see just a little more of the really telling us the story in the recitative. So, showing the angst of, oh, Susanna, she's not back yet. I'm so impatient. Wonder what my husband said, and then she's kind of doubting, like, oh gosh, should we have done this? And then she's shifting to a little bit of the anger, he's like resentful, he's so jealous. And then she's kind of doubting herself for a second, like, is this so wrong? We're just changing dresses, blah, blah, blah. So instead of, so I guess what we're looking for is more layers of, where she's impatient, and then she's kind of doubtful, like, oh, should we be doing this? And then, no, of course I should be doing this. He's kind of not being very nice lately. He's being jealous. Um and then that kind of transitions where she really, like, the anger really, it's kind of bubbling underneath, and then it's really coming up by the end. Da, 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 like she's just angry. And then she has that moment, obviously, when you're with your pianist and your conductor, that you have that moment to actually transition into the aria and a little bit more about the melancholy and the nostalgia. So let's just jump back to the aria, sorry, the recitative a teeny bit, and let's get a little more of, like I say, those different layers. So another translation from the music that we have would be, making it very much, actually, you know what, let's do it a little. Do you have English translation there with you?
Yeah. Oh well, I have the copy you gave me back when I was in college.
Yeah.
So it has the English version, which is different.
Okay.
But
So let's see the yeah, because I want to get a little more. So I just want you to know what you're saying
mhm,
when we're doing it as a monologue. So basically, the beginning being that Suzanne non vient, so she hasn't come back yet. I'm really anxious.
mhm.
Don't know how the counts reacted to receiving, the letter. And it's, she's kind of, oh gosh, that was really bold of us. And then she's angry again, the jealous husband. What harm are we doing? We're just changing clothes. It's not anything bad. It's undercover, it's under the cover of the night. But then she's, then gets this kind of angst again, like, oh, you know she's humiliated, right? When I was talking about before about this kind of, like, how embarrassing that I even have to do this, like, this is ridiculous. And then that triggers that anger where she's talking about the infidelity, the jealousy. First he loved me and then ultimately betrayed me for one of my servants, ridiculous kind of thing. So just to see a little more of that. So let's do it with, we're going to speak the Italian, but with those kind of having more of a sense of what you're saying in each little phrase. Okay. And I'll tell you if I don't believe you. That's what I'm here for.
Oi. E Susanna non viene?
Oh, come on. Hold on a second. So I don't believe you already. So you have to, and again, these texts were written, gazillions of years ago, not gazillions, hundreds of years ago. So you have to find your own personal story for this. You have to have your own subtext going on. So you want to put yourself in your, current position where you are right now, that you're waiting, you're waiting for someone to show up. So, and again, you can, however you want, it doesn't have to be that, oh, you're waiting for your friend or whatever, but we want to have more of that angst. So you're waiting for someone to show up. So to me, it wouldn't be, hey, Susanna non viene. It would be more like, oh my gosh, like, where is she? Even though she's a Contessa, she's going to be slightly, a little, a little more subdued, but she's still going to be, oh, what's going on? Okay. So let's get a little more of that angst.
Okay.
Okay.
E Susanna non viene? Sono ansiosa di sapere come il conte accolse la proposta.
Good.
Alquanto ardito, il progetto mi pare. E ad uno sposo sì vivace e geloso. Ma che mal c'è? Cangiando i miei vestiti con quelli di Susanna e i suoi con miei al favore della notte.
Exactly.
Oh cielo, a quale stato fatale io sono ridotta da un consorte crudele che dopo avermi con un misto inaudito di infedeltà, di gelosia, di sdegni, prima amata, indi offesa e al fin tradita. Fammi cercare da una mia serva Aida.
There you go. Okay, so now I believe you. Much better. Okay, so we're going to just with if and tell me if this is comfortable, just a little acapella
That's
with
fine.
yeah. So because now I want because that was like a whole that was night and day compared to how we first sang it. And yeah, I could see I could see that you the emotions were that roller coaster that she's on. So just acapella, let's so I'll give you the okay.
E Susanna non viene. Sono ansiosa di saper come il conte accolse la proposta. Ai quanto ardito il progetto mi par. E ad uno sposo si vivace e geloso. Ma che mal c'è? Cangiando i miei vestiti con quelli di Susanna e suoi con lei al favore della notte. Oh cielo, a quale mil stato fatale io son ridotta da un consorte crudele che dopo avermi con il viso inaudito di infedeltà, di gelosia, di sdegni, indi offesa e alla fin tradita. Fammi cercar donna mia servita.
Yes, now I believe you. Good, 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 good. So, and it makes sense that transition, she's right before when she's angry, he used to love me, he's betrayed me, and then all of a sudden when it's, ba-da-dum, ba-dum, ba, the fa me, she's come to this realization of how desperate and how bad things have become that she's it sounds this day and age sounds horrible to say of course but oh how bad is it that I need my maid's help but that's that transition then kind of leads into that reflection back on the good old days and the happy times and that sort of thing. So yeah, the you did really well with the legato. Was feeling like the nostalgia. I'm trying to think. There was I think it was the let me see. Di quella bromenzo, di quella bromenzo. Yeah, I think you might have snuck in a breath
I did.
in the
Stuck
middle.
one in before menzogna.
Yes.
I wouldn't have been.
So that's not a usual thing. So that's okay. We'll forgive you this time. Diction's good. I'm hearing lots of nice double consonants are coming through nicely. And then the other part that I know I've harassed you about before is when it's the reprise to the Dove Sono that have
Oh, great.
care. Yes, exactly. Care. That's kind of like that's sort
Yes.
of the benchmark of every Contessa is okay. What are they gonna do with
I
the
know, I know. And I
reprise?
used to be able to do it, but now it's like,
Yeah. Um, and of course, it's a different setting, Zoom and all that fun stuff. And again, not having a live pianist or orchestra. It's, yeah, you're following someone else and that is actually can be more exhausting, but also, it's a good experience for us to have that being on the other side of the fence, so to speak, that someone else is conducting us. Okay, so one thing that I'm just getting to that exact page where it comes back in is, thinking about your dynamic level when you're starting it. So if you want to start at a lower dynamic, but still with the same breath intensity that you would have at the, fortissimo A's, I think that's going to help you sustain through. So you made it, and then it was the last word.
Moment, period before momenti.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So let's see. So let's just jump to that, because again, like, it would be great because I know you can do it. So getting the low breath, and as I say, maybe just finding a little dynamic notch down just a teeny bit lower to see if that, but still keeping the same breath intensity, keep that nice openness in the rib cage. Okay, so can we try that? So just and again, still try to maintain a slower, try to maintain that tempo.
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously you would work that out with your conductor, ultimately, what the tempo will be for this aria. Okay, so, okay. Oh, you were so close. So close. It was so good. Okay, let's try it one more time. That was good, good, good. And just keep that openness, keep those tummy muscles, keep that core engaged, keep that breath flow going. But that was so much better than when you did it in the aria. Yeah. Okay. But you know what? I think you held the dot a quarter a little
I
long
think
in
I
the dove.
did.
Yeah. So sorry, we're going to do it one more time because I think you were just find that pulse before, but I think you held it just a little bit longer than you needed to. Okay. That's
Talk
okay.
about.
Yeah. But that's much closer. But that's kind of like I say the direction to go in. Just bring the dynamic
Bring
level
it
down
down.
just a little bit. You don't need a big, giant crescendo through that. Just find a comfortable dynamic and then just sustain that.
Okay.
And then same thing for the next Dove Andaro. So we'll do that one. Let me give you a pitch. Oh, well, it's still on the C. Okay. That was pretty
That's
close.
not bad.
One thing that's going to help you there is I am hearing a little bit of the covering on the do.
Yeah.
It's a little bit kind of, so I think that's it's not as free and ringing. So I think you might have a little better airflow if you are finding it like not covering as much. Yeah, dove. So let's see if we can get a little less of that dove because I think you're yeah closing off a lot of airflow. Okay. That was closer though, right? That was much closer. Yeah. So and I think also so you're less covering. So I think there was just better airflow. It wasn't as much effort for you to get your voice out. So let's see. So that's again engage the dynamic. And then oh yes, I think the di quell'albero menzo. Yeah, I think you
I
took a
ran out
breath.
of breath
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, and you took a little breath in the middle there. So again, just be careful, pre-plan, set the dynamic level that you're going to be able to make it through those. Let's see. And then the transition was great. Yeah, ah, Selman, la mia Costanza. That was excellent. So those were working really well. Let me see. I know there was a couple of breaths that you wouldn't normally take towards the very end. Ingrato, l'ingrato. Let me see. Yeah. Oh yeah, I think it was in the se lamenta la mia costanza nell'anguire amandonio. Yeah, I think you took a breath somewhere in there. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. So actually again, we'll just a cappella, but can we start from the se almen? Yeah. Sorry. You know where we are? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, yeah, that's good. Yeah, and it's just a matter of getting the breath. You're taking the breath before nel, right? Nelanguira. So getting an appropriate enough breath there. Yeah, good. So, and I was with the aria, I was definitely feeling more of the emotional connection, like feeling the nostalgia and a very obvious shift to the frustration and anger. So I was really feeling that in the aria, and we definitely tweaked what we were missing in terms of those layers of sadness and anger and disbelief and embarrassment, and ultimately just I can't believe this is my life right now that I have to do this. So we are definitely seeing more of that in the recitative. So that was good, very successful. So I would say just as I say for set the dynamic level for the reprise of the original Dove Sono, and just keep that rib cage nice and open. Obviously, when you're working again with live pianist or orchestra, you'll have a little bit of hopefully have a bit of say in the tempo
Yeah.
that you get to choose. I've heard, oh my gosh, yeah, I've heard some pretty slow tempi for that. That these sopranos have just
Show off.
Herculean lungs, just incredible, just Herculean breath support. Awesome. So we are going to finish here for now. I'm going to shut off